Hi, it's Christy Ritz-King with the Right Hand Mom and Real Life Wellness. Today I am going to talk to you a little bit about sunscreens. Now I will be honest and admit that I have avoided the sunscreen controversy for the last couple years. Not using it, we use it liberally and often in this house, but all of the talk of chemical versus natural and cancer-causing ingredients and this and that. I just feel like I was up to here with things to worry about with my kids, between the food and the dish detergent and the laundry detergent and the type of clothing and what they were ingesting and where they were breathing in and everything else that could possibly kill them sometime down the line. I just couldn't deal with the sunscreen issue. So, call me what you will, but that's the truth of it. But a couple things have happened. This year we tried a different brand and everyone burned the first weekend at the beach, which if you recall, Memorial Day weekend was not terribly sunny and we all burned. So that happened, and then a few days later I read a really great post that a friend of mine who is extra cautious in a good way, but also very frugal and maybe even a little skeptical sometimes, recommended this post. And so I really trust her judgment because I feel like she does the work and the homework to really make sure before she spits out sort of conspiracy theories. She doesn't spit out conspiracy theories. She shares things that are genuinely based in research and science and thus necessary for us to pay attention to. So today I went to the beauty store and picked up a few different brands of sunscreens that I'm going to try. And basically I'll break it down. I'll link down below to the article that I'm talking about that really lays out for you why you need to worry about chemical sunscreens. But I will just kind of bottom line it and let you know zinc and titanium dioxide seem to be the most effective, safest, and clean, if you will, ingredients. So oxybenzone and avobenzone. Avobenzone's a little better, and oxybenzone is the one that they tell you don't use at all, ever, ever, never, ever. And it's in like 90% of the sunscreens available right now. So the bad part is you got to spend a little bit more money, which, as you know, for me is not my favorite thing to do. I love a store brand. I love a cheap version. I have always spent a little bit more on my sunscreens because we're beach people, so we need to spend a little bit more money, generally speaking, but I try to sort of get the cheapest. And I also will say I'm a sucker for a spray sunscreen. I know I shouldn't be, but when you have 3 squirmy children, sometimes spraying it on is the only way you're going to get it on. So I chose making sure they were covered over, worrying about every last little ingredient in the past. No more. So let me just tell you what I got. We start with Sunology, which I have used before. I got it as a gift bag item at an event last summer, and I loved it. It is strictly titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and they went through a whole big to-do with us about how there's nothing in it that could possibly hurt you, and the owner's story is one in which he used sunscreen and was an avid golfer and still got skin cancer, so he was pretty compelling, and I used it a lot. It was a little thick for my kids, and they fought me a lot on putting it on, but this summer they might not have a choice. So in that regard, I also got Badger, which is another it's non-nano uncoated zinc oxide, which honestly I don't even know what non-nano means, but apparently it's important. I will tell you, when I went to the store, the first thing I did, if you have an iPhone, or I think they're even on Android phones now, the EWG Environmental Working Group has an app that you can download that gives you their best sunscreens as far as what's in them and their coverage and are they broad spectrum and things like that. And then you can also just search by brand name and it'll tell you sort of its grade for that sunscreen. So I tried to stay in the 0 to 0, 1, or 2, what they were rating at 0, 1, or 2 categories. And I also got something called Solar Sense just for face, and this is, one of them has some avobenzone in it. The stick has some avobenzone, but this does not. This is strictly, zinc oxide, and then there's a couple of the chemicals, oxysalate. So it's not the best rated, but it's still pretty good, and no oxybenzone at all. And then there's CVS brand, Vanishing Zinc, which doesn't have any of the other in it as well, although it's not rated as high because there's a couple other ingredients in here that the EWG says is, are higher on their list of warnings, but sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles. So we're going to try this one out. I haven't tried this one yet, so I'll let you know. And then last but not least, I found a spray that EWG rated a little higher. It's in their warning category, but mostly just because anything that's a spray is in their warning category. They don't like anything that's sprayed, but it's not it's a pump spray. It's not, the mist that you get with the other ones. And my kids are really very good about making sure it's on. One of the warnings with sprays is it doesn't give you full coverage. My way of thinking is if it's this kind, it's going to give you better coverage because it goes on basically in a stream like bug spray, and then they just rub it in. But then also you are going to be more likely to reapply it. If it's easy and they get wet and they come out, one of the biggest problems is that we don't reapply. You put it on in the morning and then you're good for the day, and then whether you're burning or not, you're damaging your skin. With this, I know that we're going to reapply it if it's easier to reapply, and that's the simple truth. Sorry if it's against, the environmental gods, but it's the truth. So we're going to give these a shot. I'll list them below. If you have any great brand that you know of that sort of meets the all natural and somewhat easy to apply, I know that that's asking a lot, but if you have anything, leave it in the comments below, because it's always better if we all share our knowledge in this regard. And I will link below to the article which explains why we need to go through this madness. And I'll let you know in a few weeks how we do with all these different brands. I know I can speak for the Sunology already because we've used it and I really like it, but the other ones I have not tried, so we'll see. Have a great day. Remember, if you really like this and you want more of it, subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks. Have a great day.